Welcome. This is the Scarlet and Rage podcast. I am Michael, the voice of reason. This is my co host, Jay, the voice of rage. And we are coming live to you, obviously, tonight, a little bit impromptu, because there is a big scandal that broke today. Many of you have probably heard about it. Maybe all of you have heard about it, but Ohio State President Carter has stepped down. And so we're going to discuss that, potentially a few other things here tonight. It's not going to be nearly as long as our typical live stream. So, hopefully you guys will get in here. But yeah, we are going to be here for a little bit. So if you're available, hop in the chat, and we look forward to hearing from you. This being a little bit impromptu, we'll try to get to the chat tonight if you guys are active in there and inclined to be in it. Jay, bit of a surprise, bit of a shockwave through the Ohio State University today.
Man, Michael, it's so crazy because I was literally texting with you like this morning about something, and then all of a sudden I'm like, "Whoa, Ted Carter has resigned," and I'm like, "What's going on?"
Yeah,
and I'm like, "I know that this is something we needed to cover tonight," and wow, man, just a crazy story, man. I mean, I don't even know where to begin with this, so I'm just going to read a little article here. So the Ohio State Board of Trustees has accepted the resignation of University President Ted Carter after he disclosed an inappropriate relationship. The 66-year-old Carter resigned following a rare board meeting on Saturday. He had been on the job for just over 2 years. He replaced Christina Johnson, who stepped down in 2023. Her departure was reportedly due to a strained relationship with the board. Carter told trustees he had an inappropriate relationship with someone seeking public resources to support her personal business, according to a statement from Ohio State. The board subsequently accepted Carter's offer to resign. The board was surprised and disappointed to learn of this matter and takes the situation and its potential impact on the university very, very seriously. Ohio State Board of Trustees Chair John Zeiger said in a letter accepting Carter's resignation. Carter has been a visible leader for Ohio State, appearing at numerous public events, including those surrounding the football team's national championship. He had just received a 4.5% merit raise from the board, raising his annual pay to nearly $1.2 million. Also received a bonus of nearly $400,000. Carter says he made a mistake in allowing inappropriate access to Ohio State leadership in an email to university students and staff. His contract was supposed to go through December 31st of 2028, and talk about his background and this, that, and the other, which is kind of irrelevant at this point. So, Michael, man, where do you start here? I mean, like, what does that tell you?
Well, I mean, it sounds like there was, they're a little bit vague, but it sounds like there was inappropriate things going on multiple levels, like in the financial sense that there was favors being done that were maybe allocating state resources or possibly university resources. I don't know that specifically said, but kind of getting this person a bit of a leg up on obtaining those resources. Just the old fashioned, I scratch your back, you scratch mine type of thing. And it appears that with this person, there was also some type of inappropriate relationship that was taking place as well. Now, was it a full-blown, affair? They didn't say that. Was it potentially, things exchanged between the two of them that were very personal and intimate in nature that are on recorded? I don't know. We don't know. But evidently it was inappropriate. So I wonder, Jay, if this person was seeking funding and the inappropriate relationship took place as a result of that meeting, or if because they had already had an inappropriate relationship, he was able to get this person in to receive that funding for their business. Like he was opening up doors and doing them favors, purposely. So I wonder if it organically happened, that the financial kind of, I guess, scandal, you would say there, not a major scandal. We know things like that happen, but certainly that's not what you want your president doing, is showing favoritism like that to somebody that he's having a relationship with. But I guess that's all stuff that, we may or may not ever know.
Yeah, I wonder if the board found out about this. Somebody blew the whistle on this. Who it was, I have no idea. But I would say, I just saw that too, dude. Let me try and gain focus here. It sounds like the board probably gave him two options. Number one, you just resign peacefully, and we'll do our best to brush this under the rug and kind of like make it seem like you're fine character and this, that, and the other. Or number two, we fire your ass and everything is out there. So I would think it was
Dr. Detroit. I got to put that one up there. Sounds like she was de facto selling her ass to get access to funds. I agree. I think that I think it does. I think all directions do kind of point that way.
I have a hard time believing. Which, by the way, man, on our message board, we may have found the culprit in all of this. So I'm just gonna pull our message board up here. The woman at the center of Ted Carter's inappropriate relationship is somebody named Chrysanth Vlachos of the Call Out podcast, is the woman who sought public resources to support her personal business. So I'm just going to read this little article here that
did you say that was on our message board?
Our message board. That is correct. I'm the one who posted it on there. I'm just going to read this. If you want to pull it up and show the world, that would be great. The Ohio State University announced on Monday that Ted Slapshot Carter resigned in disgrace over the weekend. The official statement noted that Carter resigned after an inappropriate relationship with someone seeking public resources to support her personal business. This woman, according to more than 6 independent resources who spoke to the Rooster in the immediate aftermath of the resignation, is Chrysanth Vlachos of the Call Out podcast, which bills itself as connecting military and veterans to the future of energy and utilities using AI. Carter, as he'll be the first to tell you, is a veteran who has overseen the nation's first university mandate dictating AI usage to its studentry. A quick video of Vlachos' social media history shows she's been a big fan of Carter in recent months. I see here, she doesn't look bad. And I will say, according to these pictures, she's not some young 25-year-old.
Dr. Detroit asked, is she at least hot?
You're going to have to go on our message board and find that. I think she's okay.
You think so?
I mean, it's hard to say, man, because you know how these women are. They get in these public areas and they make themselves look great. But that's not really the best time to judge a woman. You have to kind of judge women in their everyday life. You know what I mean?
Right.
Even Scarlett Johansson, for instance. If you get on and look at Scarlett Johansson minus makeup, she still looks good, but not
No, absolutely. I've seen Scarlett Johansson look very, very, very normal. Where's there a picture of her on our message board?
You have to go to Ted Carter Resigns.
Okay.
Click that.
Yeah.
Scroll down.
Scroll down.
Scroll down. Click the link. Click the link right there. Right there.
Here?
Yep. Go there.
All right, let's see.
Pull that up. Is it pulling up?
Yeah.
Just click it. You know what? We don't see it.
Well, I know. I'm trying to find her.
Scroll down, and it has a picture of him. I think her in the middle.
Okay. All right, so here we go. Let's see here.
Oh.
Is that her?
That's her, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm pretty sure that's her. Yeah.
Okay. I mean, definitely he was going younger. He's probably middle 60s? 66, and she's probably 50, 52?
I have no idea, man. I'm going to run a background check on her now. I did check out her LinkedIn, but it doesn't really give any indication of her age, because I didn't see any graduation years in there.
I'm going to go 45 to 52 is her age. I know that's a fairly wide range.
When you get to be that old, that's no age difference, I feel like,
45 and 66? I tell you what.
Well,
look,
maybe
listen,
50 and 52
yeah.
and 66. Yeah.
Now listen, if I'm still looking for someone at 66, I'm going to tell you, I am vastly going to prefer the 45-year-old probably to, the 66-year-old. So at that point, I think there
Yeah.
probably is a big difference, in
It
that
kind of
regard.
reminds me of that, like in what was it? Happy Gilmore.
Mhm.
When or what was it? Like, no, it wasn't Happy Gilmore. It was Big Daddy, maybe, when he
Yeah.
had the girlfriend and he caught her and he thought she was helping out like her dad or something. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh man, I'm sorry. I thought you were like banging my girl." He's like, "I am." And he's like, "Oh, what? No,
Yeah,
what?"
yeah,
It was
yeah.
so disgusting. And
Yeah.
he's like, "Oh my God, you disgusting bitch." And the old balls, like, what the
Yeah,
fuck are you
the
doing?
old balls. That was I remember that line.
Yeah, that was that was actually kind of funny. Man, Adam Sandler was really funny back in the day.
Dr. Detroit says that she has MILF potential, and he also has taken it a step further and saying she is roster material if you're middle-aged. So
I mean, well, I'm going to get into my thoughts on that in a minute, but before we get into like the Rage's like viewpoints on all of that, let me ask you a question, Michael. How does this affect Ross Bjork? So Ross Bjork was, Ted Carter's guy, and now he won't be the next president's guy. So with that being said, like, are we going to be on the lookout for a new athletic director?
Well, I wouldn't think that Ross Bjork would like this, assuming he has a pretty good relationship with Carter. I don't really know anything about that. I've not even heard anybody speculate on that. But yeah, I mean, I wouldn't think that he would be loving it. But at the same time, I think, unless he does something majorly stupid, then he's probably, the other guy's probably not going to come in and just swiftly like get rid of him, assuming, that again, he doesn't do some really moronic thing. Now we'll see what he does with basketball. But bottom line is, as long as the football program is doing well and the athletic budget isn't tanking, they're holding water, then, that's people
Wasn't Ohio State in debt, like massive debt, a year ago, though, even after winning a national championship?
Yeah, they were. Yeah, they were.
So, I mean, we kind of are tanking. I think we did better, made more money, but are we really cutting into the deficit? I don't know.
I don't know. I want to see the budget this year because
Exactly.
it was a big deficit last year.
Exactly. So, go ahead.
So I think the consensus is that she's hot, is what guys think. So, chat.
Well, Dr. Detroit, how old are you, man? I'm curious. I know it's a personal question, but it's not like we know who you are. I will say this about President Carter, man. Well, number one, what a fucking dumbass, stupid motherfucker. Just, I mean, like, I'll get into that even more in a moment. Oh, 59. Okay. Yeah. Okay. That makes sense. Carter was an improvement over the previous presidents, I believe, especially like Drake. What the hell is his name? That freaking left-wing wacko from California.
Yeah.
But in my opinion, he wasn't great. I am hoping the next president actually cares about basketball and gets rid of sports that just don't provide the university jack fucking shit. Yeah. Michael, in my opinion, I think we need to get a younger guy with a more conservative and a SEC aggressive mindset. What really bothers me here is I was listening to 97.1 The Fan today, and of course, they're on their Ohio State high horse, man, just saying how great this guy was and this, that, and the other. And the beat, of course, is glorifying Carter, saying Ohio State had two fists in front of them, fighting all of the battles, and was opposite from Gene Smith and yada, yada, yada. He was great. And Michael, that simply is not true. Ohio State has been kind of fighting still with like one arm tied behind their back, considering they have gotten rid of the collectives. Like, what are you fucking talking about? That Ohio State is like leading. They're like, the vanguard here and the new college age. Are you a bunch of fucking nut jobs? Yeah. You dumb motherfuckers. And this is the kind of shit that is indoctrinating our fan base and making things seem like Ted Carter is an actual good president. Yeah, academically, he may be great, but, people like everyone on this show we want to see the sports programs do great. And the football team, let's be real. Yeah, we won the title last year, but under Ryan Day, they have underachieved. The baseball program we have a baseball program, Michael? Do we actually have one? I mean, they're doing terrible.
I don't know, do we?
Well, the coach they hired after the guy they got from TCU, from what I understand, is terrible. The recruiting has actually gotten worse.
Justin Hare?
Yes, Justin Hare. I think from I forget where he was from. Somewhere in
it was some small Division I.
Some Division I in North Carolina. And then, like, obviously we know Jake Diebler's Ohio State Buckeyes. They are now winning in spite of him because, like I said, they have a lot of talent but no coaching. So honestly, I think Ted Carter from the Athletic point was actually kind of a failure, but they're too scared to admit it. And you see Urban Meyer at the Trump roundtable like 2 to 3 days ago saying that we need to get rid of the collectives and stuff. And I'm like, you dumb hypocrite. You were like at the beginning, you were like one of the founders of the foundation on the ground level. Like, what? That, like you said earlier, you think that is like Ohio State using him as like a mouthpiece, right?
Yeah, I think he's doing Ohio State's bidding there because Ohio State wants the collectives to be outlawed. They would love if Trump swiped away collectives, that there were no NIL collectives that were available. So essentially, Ohio State would love for the rules to be the way that they interpreted the rules. And that's the way that they have been playing by, is by the way they interpreted the rules. Well, yeah, other schools have shown that those rules have some flexibility to them and that there's some workarounds. And Ohio State wants those workarounds taken away because they do want to be the cutting edge with this new model. They think, Jay, they're going to get there. Time will tell. Time will tell if they do.
Well, here's the thing, Michael. They always talk about future-proofing themselves, and you made the point of, what about present-proofing ourselves?
Yeah, exactly.
And they're not, and they don't do that, man. So, man, oh man, just very, very frustrating there by Urban Meyer for him to say that. But in regards to Ted Carter here, what an absolute fucking dumbass, and good riddance. I don't feel bad in the least for this stupid clown. How weak-minded can you be, honestly? Never, ever. And this is Rage's, like, this is my, I'm trying to think how to phrase this. This is my advice to all the young men and any dude out there, for this matter. Never, ever let a girl's vagina influence what you should be doing in everyday life. You always have to kind of take a step back with Ted Carter here and this fucking bitch, whoever she is. Yeah. Ask yourself, this girl flirting with you, this Christina Blanchos or whatever, ask yourself, is this girl actually interested in me? Or is she interested in my power that I hold and how I can help her? And if it's the latter, you kind of have to be like, well, what am I doing here? Like, you also need to step back here, Michael. And every dude needs to look themselves in the mirror and figure this out.
Jay,
go ahead. What?
The fact that he was a man that could open up doors for her to gain her personal ambitions, that didn't have anything to do with why she had a improper relationship with him, did it?
I think it did.
You think so?
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay. Well, maybe so. You never know. I mean, I think probably, I'm kidding, of course. I think probably you are right. Now, I mean, we don't know that 100%, but I mean, the bottom line is this kind of thing happens all the time. And because it happens all the time, Jay,
why does it happen all the time, man? Why do guys like let this happen to themselves? But maybe it happens to women too, for all we know. Actually, I saw this movie with my wife a year ago, and it was one of the worst movies I've ever seen. It was this movie called Baby Girl with Nicole Kidman, and she was like this older CEO that has an affair with a younger man who then tries to blackmail her. So it may be like something like that. I don't know. There could be things like that, but the women in the end win, and they're the boss bitches, which is like Hollywood's big thing, boss bitch.
Yeah. Yeah. So yeah, I mean, I don't know. I don't know why it happens as much as it does. And I think we would all like to think that if we're in Carter's spot that we're going to go, oh yeah, like she's just probably isn't that interested in me. She probably is just interested in what I can do for her. But, you never know, what you can fall prey to, so it's hard to judge somebody like this. It really is. I mean, I don't have a big slew of judgment. Obviously what he did was wrong. Obviously what she did was wrong, but you can understand it. I mean, it's perfectly understandable. They're both getting something out of it.
Well, that's where I don't know. They may be getting something out of it, but it's completely unbalanced. And what I mean by that is every man, or honestly, anybody in a position of power.
She got the funds and he lost his job.
Well, I will say this. You need to step back. So I'm assuming President Carter was married, right? Which is kind of fucked up on itself. But let's just say for the sake of argument, he's single. And like, okay, like, this woman doesn't even work for Ohio State, but she is still leveraging Ohio State and the funds of him to like heighten her platform or whatever. You need to step back and realize that even if you're single and that the only thing you have to understand that you're single and the only thing you're getting is sex out of this. Let's just say for the sake of argument, the only thing he's getting is sex, but she is getting, the female is getting sex and whatever she's actually wanting from him or any man in the future. So from the start, it's actually a very unfair, unbalanced relationship. Immediately, he should have been doing everything in his power to document and report this bitch. Obviously, he doesn't have the power to fire her. She's not under him. But be that as it may, he should have like reported her to like her superiors and cut off whatever, because now look at where he is. He doesn't have a fucking job. His reputation is tarnished. I hope her vagina felt good enough for you, Ted. You stupid dumbass.
Yeah, I mean,
like it's just like, goddamn, man. It's like they're like, oh yeah, well, like he has some hot bitch like coming on to him and wanting this, that, and the other, and it's like, wait a minute, hold on. You get sex and funding, but I'm just getting sex. How is that fair? Like, I mean, guys need to take a step back and understand that's not fair. That is completely unbalanced. It's unhealthy. And now he's out of a job.
Jay, I'm being completely like rational here. Okay. Just hear me out. This is I don't know. Maybe some people would disagree. This is not from a moral standpoint. Leave that aside. I'm just being rational here. A guy like him, if it's so bad at home that he has to step out, it would be much, much more beneficial for him, guy of his income, to just occasionally hire a high dollar escort when he needs to do something. And
man, even then, dude, I just have too much dignity about myself.
Pay for it out of his personal funds. I mean, I don't know, but again, like if you're going to like have an affair in that type of position, you're going to be liable for your consequences. And that is the most discreet, safe way you could possibly do it if you're having to do it. And, obviously the best thing is don't do it. But my point is, if you're going to do it, doing it where everything is on the line is just the worst possible, that's the worst possible scenario. That is man succumbing to his weakness, weaknesses, despite it being completely contrary to his best interest.
Yeah, man, I don't understand it, man. Guys just need to understand, like, I don't know, man. I mean, sex is great, but it's like, dude,
Jay,
what?
I was married 18 years. Okay. Actually, I was married 18 years. And, a lot of those years were not great. I'm not married now, but, I never stepped out. So, I mean, I know it can be done. I know it's not like impossible. There certainly was a lot of times within that marriage that we were not like having amazing feelings towards each other. And it wasn't that I wouldn't have liked the company of another woman. I certainly would have liked the company of a lot of other women at that point, because it's like I felt like, marriage gets rough, but I didn't do it because I was still married. And so, it's unfortunate when you get caught so publicly It's understandable. I know how it can happen on both sides, but it's, for both of them, for her and for him, their faces plastered everywhere, especially for him. He definitely takes the brunt of it. He's lost his whole career. She'll just kind of slide off into the distance here in a couple of weeks. But yeah, rough deal.
I feel like you just got to be able to take a step back and sometimes and be like, she's not, I mean, number one, you have to understand she's not actually interested in him. Although it seems like women can kind of go for like ugly men, but men can't go for ugly women. It's weird how that kind of works, right? Like,
so yes, correct.
Yeah. I don't know. You don't really see this situation in the reverse, but I don't know, man.
Women are more complex. They have,
I feel like I had like a good thought and I completely lost it. But I mean, Ted, dude, you just need to take a step back. Understand that, she's not interested in you. She's just interested in your money. And then number two, also understand that, you have the wherewithal to just go home and jack off, man. Just go home and jack off and then just be like, okay, now I'm good. Basically, like that is like the rule of thumb. If you like to be like completely NC-17 rated, they always say like jack off and then like go back and reevaluate and be like, okay, is this really worth it? And you basically get that like thing in your mind, like telling you actually succumb to reason then.
Yes. Take the old proverbial cold shower.
So moving on, there's something we really need to hit on. So obviously like Ted Carter is not for the people. He was for himself. And yes, Dr. Detroit, that is absolutely, pull that bottom line up. Pull that up.
This is a men's episode.
That is absolutely correct. That is it. Post-nut clarity, baby. That's exactly right. President Carter is not for the people. I know some people have thrown Jim Tressel's name out there as a replacement. I don't think he'd be any good. As we all know, he's under that rhino, Mike DeWine. He's the governor of Ohio, right? That's his name, right? Mr. Rhino, Mark DeWine, or Mike DeWine. But who is also not for the people, Michael, and we kind of hit on it yesterday. I know you were kind of gathering your thoughts, but President Trump's presidency is really not for the people. And I know you wanted to elaborate more on that today. I guess, like, why is he? Well, what the hell is going on, man? I know we hit on this some yesterday. I'm going to leave it to you.
Yeah, I mean, I think it's not that, again, I'm not going to make the claim his presidency is not for the people. What I am going to make the claim is, and then people can decide how they feel about it, is that he hasn't really followed through with some of the major aspects of the quote unquote MAGA agenda, the American First agenda, because all we've really had so far is the border. And I guess you could say gas is a little better. And I mean, hey, I'll take that. That's not bad. I'm not deriding him for that. But there's been a lot of other things that it just really seems he is being kind of guided and moved a direction that is, getting seemingly further away from, kind of from what he campaigned on and from what he ran on. I mean, even down to the small things that kind of go under the radar, to where instead of any accountability to the COVID-19 pharmaceutical companies and Pfizer releasing a vaccine and making billions of dollars off of it, a vaccine that it's a fact now. It's not conspiracy. It did injure thousands and thousands of people. And so
how many people did it kill?
Well, we don't really know, but it certainly did some. And there's thousands and thousands that were vaccine injured. Now, that being said, in the grand scheme of how many people took that shot, it's a very, very small amount of people percentage-wise that, actually either die or have, some type of vaccine injury. But when you're talking about 60 and 70 and 80 and 100 million people taking a shot, if it has a 0.035 injury rate, then that is thousands upon thousands of people that are being vaccine injured, many of them in the demographic that were not even susceptible to the virus. Okay. So like college football players, they were prone to get heart inflammation from the vaccine. College athletes. And so, because they were prone for that, the vaccine made no sense to them. Even if it was a 0.035% chance, they had about a 0.9999999% chance of surviving the virus itself. So why would they take any risk with the vaccine? But millions did, because even colleges were forcing these kids to take it. And some were getting myocarditis, heart inflammation. So I'm building the case here that the vaccine could be safe for, a huge majority of the people. And it could still be very problematic because we were vaccinating people with a vaccine that they were at more risk for than if they would have just gotten the virus themselves, because 20-something-year-old men were at no risk almost for the COVID-19 virus to die, especially, healthy young men.
Do you feel, oh no, go ahead.
And so Trump doesn't get any accountability for Pfizer or for any of, this rush for millions of people to take an experimental vaccine. He doesn't get any kind of accountability. He rewards them with a very rich government contract, and, has them in the White House. And so, that certainly was one of the early disappointments for me in the Trump, administration, when he just joined hands with Big Pharma and said, Uncle Sam's about to open up our pockets to you and pour in billions to the same people that injured, thousands of Americans and likely killed thousands of Americans. Now, I'm not saying the vaccine did no good for nobody, but it was irresponsibly, put forth. Because the age groups that were not at risk for the virus did not need to take that vaccine, but everybody needed to take it because it was a mandate. And no way you're going to tell me the pharmaceutical companies were not in on this mandate, the government was not in on this mandate, that the mandate was going to drive profits from the pharmaceutical companies, because many of the people in government, such as Anthony Fauci, had big stakes ahead of time in said pharmaceutical companies. So imagine that there is professors from Duke University lecturing a few years before the pandemic, stating that a lot of money can be made throughout pandemics. This is Ralph Barrick is his name. And I'm going all the way back to COVID because so many of us wanted accountability from COVID.
So many things changed after COVID is what you said. Yes.
After COVID. And so I'm going back to this because we didn't get that. And we all thought that if Trump would have been in office throughout that whole time, that none of this would have happened. But, now in Trump's second term, he's joining hands with these very people and giving them, a very abundant government contracts. And so it's concerning. And it certainly doesn't seem that there's any accountability from COVID. People have just been able to, they did all of that crazy stuff and there's no accountability for it. And so I'm going all the way back to that, really, because to me, that's where it all starts. And then, things get crazier from there. Because, I think the second Trump election was more revolutionary than the first. I don't know if I said that last night, but he was an outsider. And sometimes I wonder if he's just an actor. I really do at this point. I wonder if he's
expand.
Well, sometimes I wonder if he's just playing a role. If this was by design, if the whole thing was by design, that he was going to win, he was going to go down, he was going to get sued by the evil Democrats over and over and over, and they were going to take him for everything. But yet at the end of the day, like, everything just kind of worked out for him and he became the president again. And now he's like way richer than he's ever been. So, I don't know, maybe he just has the Midas touch, but sometimes I wonder if he's just playing a role. I mean, he's been an actor. I mean, he spent a big part of his career essentially acting, kind of a television, reality television, which we know is not reality. So, I mean, it's not so far-fetched to think that he's playing a role to a degree. I'm not saying he is. I'm just saying sometimes I have that thought. Like, is this guy just playing a role? Is this literally just a role to him? Or were those convictions and passions there to begin with, and they've just kind of waned as he's gone through, a lot of turmoil and a lot of issues and a lot of opposition. And now he's just going to kind of ride high while things are going his way. I don't know. I mean, I'm not making a definitive statement one way or the other. I'm just saying, I don't, I look at things maybe differently than some, and I think the Charlie Kirk incident, I don't think it's incidental that it was called Turning Point. Turning point.
Yes, I know. Please go on. Please tell everyone.
Turning point. It's the turning point. They told us. They were announcing things are about to change. It's about to turn. Well, I thought they were going our way. Where the hell are you going to turn them to? Well, we've seen, And so,
Speak to the AI surveillance pass. So let's think about this real quick here. As we all know, and I kind of said yesterday, JD Vance was put in there as vice president by the tech bros, your boy Peter Thiel. Trump appears to be an instrument for Israel because we believe that his funding came from mostly Israel and the big tech bros to get him elected in 2024 to do their bidding. And then after this whole craziness with the deportations and stuff and them not handling it right with the House and Senate about to be lost probably in 2026, we believe that Trump probably had to act quick at the behest of big tech and Israel, Michael. I mean, would you say that's possibly accurate?
Yes. I mean, definitely big tech, Peter Thiel, as we kind of briefly discussed the other night. And, again, I can't stress that enough, that a guy that doesn't really adhere to or believe in Christianity is so fascinated with the apocalyptic scriptures in the Bible that he gives 4-part lectures on the Antichrist. And he does it from his understanding of the scriptures. Now, I'm not saying his understanding of those are sound or that they're correct, but he does see enough correlation that he says this type of surveillance technology that is very embedded into the Trump administration through JD Vance, with JD Vance being, raising funds for him back years ago. And, many say Thiel mandated taking Vance in order to get his support. And we don't know if, Thiel and Musk's support may have been in tandem. We're not sure. But, at any rate, when Thiel turned and when Thiel got word, whatever kind of deal he'd cut with Trump, whatever kind of, and when I say a deal, I'm not saying anything nefarious. I'm saying Trump said, this is the kind of policy that I'll put forth that could benefit you. And are we good? And he says, yeah, if you'll do that, we're good. And so when he went back and communicated, or his people or whoever, to Silicon Valley, for the first time in Trump's existence as a politician, Silicon Valley after Silicon Valley CEO, founder, lead stockholder, were coming out and endorsing Trump. And so whatever Trump arranged with Musk and Thiel and these big power brokers in AI and in Silicon Valley, whatever he arranged with them, and I don't know what it is, but it's clear that something happened because word got out in Silicon Valley, Trump is our man. You go back and look at it. There was CEO after CEO out in Silicon Valley.
Because they didn't support him in round 1
or round 2. They were vehemently opposed to him. And now one after the other was coming out pro-Trump, 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 pro-Trump. And so whatever had been arranged or discussed was very favorable in Silicon Valley because they all came out in support for him. And so, how is that part of it going to play out? I don't know. I mean, we've already had some kind of monkeying around with the monetary system, or it's being done, and it's kind of being prepared at the same time. They're preparing for a change in the monetary system. I mean, that's obvious. Trump did the stable.
The penny is gone. They're not
penny is
producing
gone
anymore, which is just unbelievable.
I don't think it'll be long before all the change is gone. It's like, and they're going to discourage the use of cash because, if you get 1901 and you give them a 20, well, we're sorry, we just don't have change anymore. The government doesn't mint any. So there's going to be a great discouragement away from cash because you're not going to get your change back. You're going to pay a tax. Essentially it'd be like a cash tax. I guess maybe it would go to the business owner or whatever. But yeah, I mean, it would go to the government because they would no longer have to mint any of these coins, which would be saving them a lot of money over a period of years as well. So it would absolutely be a tax all the way around. It'd be a business tax and be a government tax as well, in a sense. But they'll discourage cash because they want everything to be digitized. They want everything to be on blockchain. They want all our transactions. Trump is trying to merge gold and crypto, and he's kind of talking and floating these ideas of a new backing, for the dollar, or returning to some type of gold standard with a digitized, very, very advanced stuff that I know enough about to speak somewhat intelligently, but I do not know the details or the ins and the outs of it because I just haven't had time to look into it that closely. But I know that there's a lot going on with the monetary system, and they're bringing, they're bringing crypto into that. Well, we know that Thiel and Musk and many of the Silicon Valley guys are big crypto guys. And the way that Trump is kind of bringing this crypto into the monetary system and signing legislation that's pro-crypto outside of that, it's no doubt making him and these guys in Silicon Valley probably a lot of money, these crypto whales out there. And Trump, the Trump family, at last reported that I saw, had gained about $4 to 6 billion in net worth through the crypto business that they launched, which no doubt benefited from the fact that they knew that the president was going to sign favorable laws towards crypto. So, not everybody's playing the same game, Jay.
Well, with the growing power of Palantir and the removal of, let's be real, man, all of cash they want to just get rid of.
Yeah.
The pennies are gone. Are we looking at the ESG social credit score coming into fruition to basically use the use of Palantir and all of this digitized money to pay attention to everything we're buying and where we're placing our money to implement that social credit score and pay attention to everything we're doing and then penalize us for putting our money in things that they disagree with? I don't know. I mean, is that where this is going?
I think, okay, so we got Bad Gateway, who is a fan of Trump's economic ideas. And I don't disagree. And so I am not by any means taking the stance that everything Trump does is bad. I would still have preferred to have Trump than Harris. I am just kind of outlining where I see this administration is kind of going the way of many of the others, with just kind of doing the things that they always do in Washington. What do they always do? They start pointless wars. They spend way too much money, and then they can't figure out how to pay for it. And so, we've had a lot of that, we've had a lot of that same stuff, going on. And, he's being facetious. Okay. Well, good. Well, good.
Bad Gateway is a very intelligent human being.
He is. Yeah. We're in deep conversation here. So I guess that's why I missed the tone of the text. I was I was just trying to glance over
This
and
is
get
not
that.
a joking matter over here.
Yeah. So Jay, yeah, I mean, you probably researched actually Palantir more than I even have. I have watched Peter Thiel talk about the Antichrist. And so, I mean, think about that. I mean, you know, that somebody that this guy that he goes, well, he's a billionaire. He's a tech guru. He has surveillance technology that could rule the world. And his side hobby is studying and lecturing on the Antichrist. That's a pretty interesting combination.
I don't know personally about Peter Thiel,
Yeah.
but I did, yesterday do research into Palantir, and I know all of its capabilities. I wouldn't say, no, that's a lie. I don't know all their capabilities, but I know what it's meant to do. And basically anything you can think of, a camera attached to anything, anywhere, it has access to. So if there's a camera around and it's connected to any kind of fiber optic cable, you can be monitored. It can hack into that system, and you are fucked because the CIA has backed Palantir. And I think they are using this as a tool to spy on everyone.
Yep.
And it's just, again, like they have partnered with, I don't know if partnered with is the right word, but they've spent money, paid money to LexisNexis to access some of their servers, which is basically a big information collection database. And I know this because detectives use that to do background checks on people and check on them, as well as private investigators.
Look, if you guys want to go and Google Peter Thiel Antichrist, you'll see like none of this is wild. None of this is far-fetched. Like it's all right there for anybody to see right there in plain sight. And just listen to it and see what you think about it. But his angle, Jay, is that he is concerned that the Antichrist could capitalize upon his type of technology. So if you want to see how these kind of things take place, go watch the show Person of Interest.
You told me about
Person
that.
of Interest. It shows how it takes place. It's merged. It's government. Government has always sunk its hand into private business where it wants to. The famous building in New York City, which is a AT&T building, but everybody knows there's CIA servers, down in the basement. And why with AT&T? Well, because AT&T is a big communications network that had a bunch of infrastructure and things in place that the CIA could piggyback off of. And of course, AT&T knew that they were doing this. And so this kind of thing has gone on for a long, long time. The NSA, the CIA, they have connected into this,
Think about that movie Enemy of the State with Will Smith back in the day, man.
They had this technology then.
Before that, probably
they had a
movie on it.
Before that, yeah. They'd probably had the technology 20 years before that movie.
I feel like we're at the, in the scene in The Matrix where Morpheus is talking to Neo, and he's like, before you, I have a red pill and a blue pill. And the red pill, you wake up from, I forget what he says, the dream is over and you get to see the real world or something like that. You take the blue pill, the dream continues and you can believe whatever you want to believe. And obviously Neo takes the red pill and disconnects from the Matrix. And then he realizes it's all hell on earth. And like I reiterate after what I said yesterday, and producer Jeff have said, if we actually knew everything that is going on in our government, there would be worldwide chaos. You want to talk about wars breaking out, Michael? Yeah. I think if we actually found out about everything going on in our government and the world's government and the New World Order and all of that stuff and what the Rockefellers were trying to institute back in the day, I think there would be absolute fucking chaos. And I don't even know where to think.
That's the big trick, isn't it? Hold on. We'll get to that in a second, Jay. We got a super chat, Bad Gateway. We appreciate that.
Thank you.
Says, I appreciate the conversation. Worth way more than 10. No questions. Yeah, we appreciate that, sir. Glad to have you in tonight. And we will be pulling for those Michigan Wolverines in this tournament coming up.
Hey, Michael, by the way, there's a possibility Ohio State could play Michigan for a third time on Friday.
Oh, wow. Okay.
We have to beat Iowa
in the tournament or
in the Big Ten tournament.
The Big Ten tournament. Okay.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that. So I don't know. I guess getting back and kind of wrapping this up, Jay. We don't have to wrap it up, but just kind of getting back in directions. We were, the government has got its hands in all kinds of tech. I mean, Twitter was a government asset. I mean, we know that from the Twitter
then Elon
files.
saved us. Which, by the way, you were saying something about Elon the other day. Like, we thought he was like Mr. Hero, and you were saying something like you're not so sure about him anymore.
I look at everything from like 3D angles at this point. I don't accept anything at face value. I hope Elon Musk is exactly what we think he is. I pray he's what we think he is. But, I also know that he could be another, he could be a rug pull, that he gets everyone's trust and then slowly starts to pull back those freedoms on X, and people kind of are willing to give it up because they have such trust. And Elon hasn't let us down in the past. And so I'm definitely watchful for any kind of bait and switch. But I mean, obviously we can be hopeful that he is, kind of what we want him to be. But I just don't think this is a time that you just put blind trust in any personality. I don't think you can get attached emotionally to a personality and automatically be like, that person is good or that person is right. Because I just don't think we always know what's at play. I mean, we talked about the Charlie Kirk deal. I mean, Erica Kirk, again, I'm not being unkind to a widow. Okay. So if anybody who gets upset, she was, gloating about all the money and the merch that they were bringing in, like just a few days before his death. Like there was lots of other people out there, like Christians in church and places, that were seemingly much more sad about what happened with Charlie than she was really acting right there in, Turning Point USA and it's on video. I mean, it's there for everybody to see.
And everyone blast Candace Owens.
A video surfaced, we can talk about that in a minute. A video surfaced this week. And chat, if you guys have, anything you want to discuss, throw it in there. But a video surfaced, this past week that I saw today of Erica Kirk when she was younger. I think maybe in one of the beauty pageants, discussing pornography. Should it be allowed or should it be outlawed? Well, now look, if she'd always presented herself to be one way, then if she'd have taken her position, there wouldn't have been a problem with it. But she's always presented herself to be this very conservative Christian, but nothing in her past lines up to her ever actually being that. And this is just another one of those things where, she says that she says, yes, we should allow pornography because I have a lot of respect for the actors and actresses in the industry. And they make money and they pay taxes. And so that's really good. That gives the government more money. And I think overall, while it probably is bad for some people, I think, the good outweighs the bad, and it kind of does a lot of good things. And so that was her take on pornography.
She said that.
Yeah. I may have embellished a tad bit, but not a lot. I mean, she said point blank, she has a lot of respect for the ones in the industry. She's got a lot of respect.
She was quick to point out they've made a lot of money in Charlie's death, by the way, too.
Oh, by the way, I guess on YouTube, you got to say corn stars.
What?
Yeah. You can't say the P word.
Oh, on here?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, I let it slip there. So I don't know that we would be monetized anyway, but I think that would have undone it because that's a no word.
Okay.
Yeah.
Well, isn't fuck a no word too?
Not after the first 10 minutes, but in the first 10 minutes it is, yeah.
Yeah, okay, so the P word is
always.
Okay, so you have to do this artist.
Or Korn, yeah, Korn star.
Art. Okay, I was like Korn the band or Korn what are we talking about?
Yeah. But that was her take on it, and so I mean, she's a shifty one.
Well, Michael, but before we get out of here, I really do want to touch on one more thing. And that one more thing is the whole Charlie Kirk incident, and you've made a big deal out of this.
Yeah.
None of it makes sense,
No.
right? You've gone back and listened to his old videos, and you've listened to him talk. And we looked at the crime scene, which
Yeah.
I don't know, the way it was handled was completely off the rails. And there are suspicious people unplugging the camera, and I believe taking it or I don't remember exactly what it was. One of the two.
Are you going to want me to publicly give my Charlie Kirk opinion?
I do, man. Let it all out, man. Let it all out because the world has got to hear this.
Okay.
This is it, everyone. This is it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, again, I would call it an opinion / theory. I have a couple of opinion / theories. But there's definitely some things that I will draw a line and say, no, I don't believe that. It might be this, or this, but I don't believe that. So what we saw out front with the whole Charlie Kirk and the Turning Point USA, I don't buy that. I don't buy that this, golly gee shucks, kid from Illinois, couldn't barely tie his shoes together, put together a little elbow grease and some hard work and, determination, and became the most influential, political para organization in America. I think that somewhere along the way, I'm not saying he didn't put forth some significant work or effort. My guess would be he probably did. He probably was showing some potential, and that's why he was chosen. But my theory is somewhere along the way he was chosen for that, and that's why the whole organization has kids that work for it. It's like 20-year-olds, 22-year-olds, like very young kids are in like these very prominent positions. Well, what does it matter? They're not running it anyway. That's my theory. This thing is being supported by some heavy hitters, and it's got internal organization that is actually going on. And then you've got this kind of facade on the outside of Charlie and all these happy kids, at the workshop. That's the way I see it. Obviously that made.
Are you saying he was groomed for this?
Yes. I think he was selected for the role.
Selected by whom?
Potentially one of the 3-letter agencies that starts with C.
Who is listening to this, by the way? No, they're all listening. They're like, who are these guys? Where are they getting this information?
Yeah.
Because you're not going to hear this anywhere else.
That would be one theory. And so, the whole thing with the assassination. Look,
the caliber of bullet, saying what it was, and not completely destroying.
I mean, without going down that total rabbit trail. I mean, to sum the whole thing up, sometimes they make it simple for you. They said a 30-06 bullet hit him in the neck from 150 yards or 200 yards or whatever it was. Person after person after person has shown, ballistics expert after expert has shown that didn't happen. One ballistics expert I heard, he didn't want to say it could never happen. He was struggling to say that. And, he came up with some very obscure scenario where potentially maybe it could possibly happen. And they said, well, how likely is this scenario that even though you seem to think it's unlikely, how likely is this scenario that you've just cooked up that, this could happen? And he said, about, maybe 1 in 1,000 at best, but probably more like 1 in 20 or 30,000. So essentially we're talking about almost no possibility that a 30-06 could have hit him, or it would have been much more gruesome, the scene. And so as the Charlie Kirk camp began to hear that this wasn't taking place, Jay, let me just pull this up. Okay.
I got to bounce here in a little bit, Michael. Let's get wrapping this up here in a minute. But
all right, well, let's wrap it up. But so the Kirk camp comes out and says, It was a miracle. We talked to the Andrew Colvett. You can see it on X. He's got this post there.
Your
It's the
favorite
famous
person
Superman
in the
post.
world.
Yeah, and he says that the surgeon said that yes, normally this would have gone right through his neck, but Charlie is a miracle. He was like a man of steel. And even in death, Charlie saved people. And then he gave like this really fake, like praise Jesus or something. And I was like this is fake as can be. Like, what are we talking about here? And so that moment alone, like, gave it away that something very bizarre is taking place. And so what that bizarre is, you guys can figure out if you think there is anything bizarre. But that's my take on it, Jay. I think that we were definitely seeing characters that were selected for a role. And I think we're continuing to see that with his wife, Erica Kirk.
Let's get out of here on this. And I have one loaded question for you. And let's just let the rabbit out of the bag, shall we?
Mm-hmm.
Michael, you're telling me that characters are put in place as, a means to something, to get people thinking one way, but it's like a magic trick. It's like they want you to look over here, but really what's happening is over here.
Mm-hmm.
Is it possible that Charlie Kirk was a manufactured CIA plant and his death was faked? And now he is alive somewhere similar to Epstein and, just has a complete makeover. And in his death, they are using it to expand artificial intelligence surveillance on all of us.
Listen, you guys do your own research, okay? But not only do I think that is possible, I think that is the most likely scenario. I don't even know if Charlie Kirk had to. Again, this is total speculation, but I do think that it was a character. I do think that it was used for a purpose, and it was used as a catalyst. And there's a lot of different things. It would probably have to be another episode to get into all of that.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it was used for a purpose and a catalyst, and so I think that is my most likely scenario. And we know, Jay, do your research on this. We know pretty much at this point that the CIA absolutely can make extremely real looking masks. Like, in other words, if they wanted me to look like Donald Trump, they could make me look pretty darn close to Donald Trump. Now, my hands and things like that will look much younger, so that can be problematic. But you get people of a similar age and a similar size. And so my point is, we don't even know. It's a possibility that Charlie Kirk, that may not even be his face. We saw this bizarre incident with Jim Carrey over last week. Did you see that?
Man, dude, what? Yeah, I didn't know what to think of that. I thought that was fake, but that was him?
No, it's clearly someone in a mask.
Oh, it was? Okay.
And it's like, I don't even think it was like probably one of the best ones. I mean, who was it? I don't know. There's been all kinds of speculation. Some people have said Jim Carrey says it's him. Supposedly some Hollywood transgender guy who does Hollywood masks is claiming that he did that mask and showed up in it. But it's pretty clear, the eyes, everything, it's not Jim Carrey. So these weird things are taking place. Things are being revealed. The Epstein files, the things that are being revealed in that. All of these things are taking place, and all of these little breadcrumbs are being put out there. And the problem is, most of us, most probably don't even have the time that I've been able to devote to it, but I don't have anywhere close to the amount of time that it would take to really run down all of this information that's being dumped out at us. And so all of these things are being revealed in plain sight, but they're being dumped at us at such an avalanche and such a speed of events that nobody even pays attention to them. They just go right on by. I mean, Trump said that there were aliens a couple of weeks ago, and nobody cares. Like, nobody cares at all that he said there's aliens. Everybody's just like, yeah, we already knew that.
I could expand more on that, but we're kind of at a time crunch. Michael, I guess I'll ask the chat, do you want us to continue on with more Michael, I feel like it's such a derogatory term to use the word conspiracy, because it's not a conspiracy if you actually just follow the breadcrumbs. It's just pulling out the facts and red pilling everyone is essentially what we're doing.
I will say this. I will still call my Charlie Kirk theory a conspiracy, in the sense that I label him a character chosen by an intelligence agency. So because of that, I'll still say that that's a conspiracy. But all of the weird, strange things surrounding his death, all of those are just simply facts. And of course, we don't have time to get into all of those tonight.
Right. We need to do another episode. So I guess we'll leave it to the chat or the public comments after the show. Do you want us to continue on doing episodes like this every so often when stuff comes out? Michael is very much like an I wouldn't even call it I guess it is an X-file, because a lot of these things are unexplained, or if they are explained, the public is not privy to them, and local police is definitely not privy to them. It's way above. So, Michael, I don't have much else other than that. Get on the message boards and subscribe, share, get our message out there.
Awesome. All right. Well, thank you guys for tuning in, and we'll be back with another one real soon. All right. Bye.